the law and it's okay, sir.
Exactly.
We
precisely.
have 13 separate documents that have been written in the last 48 hours. About 12 people that are going to be lined up for impeachment, multiple writs, and 7 p.m. Eastern today, the governor's coming in after we pushed a writ to reinstate you back into office. To break it down, first and foremost, the legislation they use to get you out of office, unless you're retarded, literally only means people in your staff.
Well, you're also missing one key point.
Number 2, it was repealed a month ago. Number 3, the means by which they removed you was not a part of due process. Once again, if you think it's due process, you're retarded. There's no other explanation.
Well, they didn't even have the power to do it because it's not codified. You know what I mean? They don't have the ability to do what they did, you know?
Correct. Hey! And the explanation that was given, so what happened was I pushed the writ yesterday, like I gave it to Hollow 2 days ago, like that night. He didn't respond to it, and I said, yo, give me an update. And the response came once again through fucking government email chains. And I said, okay, first off, what the fuck is this? Who responded to this? What am I supposed to do with this? What is anyone supposed to do with this? This needs to be a fucking hearing. I think he generally agrees, but once again, I don't fucking know. But the response to it was, yes, there's an impeachment, but it's optional. So
no, it's not optional.
All that's going to get, so all of that led to governors coming in. So at 7 p.m. Have you been holding strong? You do anything crazy?
Oh, yeah, but I just didn't get caught.
Okay, all right. Okay. Either way, regardless of what happens, you know, I'm going in full dick on this. Even if you don't come out of this, like, you know, as the mayor, this is the bigger thing, right? Why is the DOJ, like, not...
Can I be honest with you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a situation where I don't come out of this on top. You know what I mean? I would go as far to say is that I think tonight I am reinstated back into my office. You know, the real question I have is why isn't Raddick the sheriff right now?
So so here's the problem, is that once again, the justices, even Hart's pretty fucking dumb. After Hollow left, Hart completely twisted the governor's words. So the governor, the TLDR was, the governor said, you guys need to work together. You can actually collectively vote in decision changes without even going through any like process. And he also stated that the UPD, you could stretch it to mean something, but he pretty much said, I could see how someone could think that, but fundamentally said the UPD doesn't exist. This motherfucker came back and said the governor said the UPD exists, and number 2, disregarded any votes. So that's why he's coming back, and we're literally going to record everything.
Was there a vote?
Yes, both me and Dr. Naya was like, yes, make him back governor, go through impeachment. And she said no.
Hold on. So was it official vote? That's the thing. Was it an official vote? Like you guys had?
We both stood there. We said we're become the majority. Me and Dr. Naya are you're not in office, so you can't get a vote. DOJ is one vote. Me and Dr. Naya said reinstate him, and she just said no. Pretty much the majority of the conversation with the mayor or the governor got thrown out because they weren't paying attention. So that's why with him coming back today, we're going to get shit like written down.
I didn't know this.
They're selectively, like you said, why is we gave her a writ. We said Raddick should be, while Pred was the mayor, he put him in place via state announcement. If you're claiming that via state announcement, Pred is no longer the mayor, then that means that last action should have taken place. And they were like, well, that happened after he wasn't mayor anymore. And it's, or like, it got reversed because he shouldn't have been mayor before. I don't know.
What does that mean? Shouldn't have been mayor. You have to still. That means
they're not being consistent with their logic.
If they say I shouldn't have been the mayor, that means they're acknowledging I was the mayor when I made the decision.
It's literally they're just not being consistent. That's why none of the logic makes any sense.
Huh. All right. I mean, I'll be at the meeting.
I think that's a. I think you should. I don't know if you've been approved to, but you should, and let's see what the government says.
I mean, if I'm not approved, I'll just wait outside while you guys handle it. You know, I mean,
absolutely.
It seems like you know all the stuff that I was just gonna bring to you about. You know.
Oh, you tell me. Maybe there's things I'm missing.
All right, so there's a few key things that need to be hit. All right, the fact that I did repeal this legislation that they're claiming. Okay, the fact that the process of removal that they chose to do for me does not exist. Okay, that's another one.
Correct.
It does not exist. So what they did was corrupt. All right.
Correct.
The third part is that the state legislation is in fact also Blaine County legislation, and county legislation doesn't usurp or overthrow state legislation. Okay, so it's
correct.
I mean, because, and also the way that the law hasn't been interpreted in court, I have a right to trial. You know, I could have, you know, they could have said, hey, we're withholding you from office. Even that they wouldn't have been able to do, but at least I would have played ball with that, because I at least would have had my day in court and, you know, end up getting more money. But by the time I get back in office, I'm going to have like a month, you know, to do anything. Like,
here's, I agree. Here's strategically what I think you need to do is, I think regardless of everything, you should immediately start your
11 months.
Oh, you can't start expungement, can you?
Well, I mean, here's the thing that is like that bothers me, right? It's such a broad piece of legislation that they used, right? Broad to interpretation. If you're found to not be in good standing isn't defined. All right, the charge is a felony, but I paid an interior decorator. All right, and then it was also founded that, you know, I shouldn't have been in that circumstance anyway.
You still have the right to appeal those charges.
Yeah, but I mean, so I was told that I could do so it was weird. We got mixed. All right, so we got like a very direct answer from like multiple parties. They said if you would have done the felony diversion program, this wouldn't have even been an issue, right? I've never been charged.
But
I've gotten
we know
an
that
expungement
was
for a
supposed to
misdemeanor.
happen. Wait, how do you have 2 times contempt?
Contempt of court from
the violation of a court order. Never mind.
Violating a court order. Yeah. But yeah, I'm.
It's so. I mean, let's put it this way, right?
They're just picking
Their
and choosing
argument
to get what they want.
is that the impeachment is optional, which once again is fucking retarded, because everything is just retarded, right? It just is. These people are retarded. I don't think they have. They shouldn't be leading the DOJ, let alone working a fucking McDonald's, because
I agree.
Going down this line of thinking, you're pretty much saying everything is optional. We can't in one meeting be like things need to be less sweaty, and then you're just making up stuff and saying, well, we don't actually need to do this process. We get to ignore it all, because that pretty much questions every piece of legislation we've been putting work into. And it's not like they themselves have done anything. You know what I mean? Other than kick mud around.
Other than, yeah, get out of bed twice in 2 months.
Right.
I don't really, I don't fundamentally understand. You know, at the end of the day, it's not really the biggest deal for me. If I have to be a martyr for some reason for shit to be done, then I guess I have to be a martyr. But also, it's just, I don't see the state official agreeing with any of the things that they've done. Like, yeah, I mean, I literally repealed this legislation a month ago. All right,
precisely,
and it was never contested.
Well, that's part of it, right? And this is part of the argument that we're going to make, is that the justices fundamentally, each and every one of them, have like let's put this into perspective. You tried to repeal it. They did not. They then said that Hollow said he needed to wait to talk to you one-on-one before moving forward. He made his own process. I will give Hollow this, at least he's trying, right? But even then, it was on the DOJ to move it to the next step. They refused to for a month, right? There was always an excuse. Then they refused to give you keys to your treasurer, which is what landed you in this mess to begin with. And then they didn't want to give you the diversion program then and there, because once again, Azeroth was calling, right? Laziness, once again. They kept dragging their feet. And then when push came to shove, in 2 hours, your mayorship was removed. All because they were lazy. It's not like you did something to prevent it from happening. You took all the right steps. They dragged their feet until the moment was to remove you. And even what was being removed was in government emails, and it's fucking nasty. We even have to talk about that.
Well, the thing is that we got lied to. We were told that this was a decision by all the justices when it wasn't. It was
correct.
I mean, that's what Hart told us to our face when we were in that meeting room. It was,
well, according to the response, I'm getting something different.
Rosary, thanks for the 8 months. What are you getting different now?
So I posted a writ that night. The writ of mandamus, right? In other words, a petition for that is a court order to reinstate you. The reply is as follows. Give me a sec, I'm pulling it up. We claim the legislation explicitly establishes standards for appointing staff members. This is the one the Blaine County one. And they responded, no, it doesn't. It outlines the positions of treasurer and deputy mayor because they didn't exist before the legislation. Retarded response. Number 2, the removal of the mayor pred was executed without due process as required by San Andreas state legislation, which mandates impeachment or formal legislative proceeding for removal of elected officials. Their response, this is also wrong. Nowhere in the impeachment legislation does it say the process is mandatory. Retard response, right? Number 3, San Andreas state legislation outlines the procedures for removing elected officials through impeachment. Response, he's right. It implies impeachment, but doesn't mean impeachment is the only method for Blaine County mayor. Retarded response.
I don't understand.
They don't know English, brother. That's the problem. I felt I was so gaslit, and I actually sat back and I was like, am I perhaps the crazy one? Like, let me take a step back. Maybe we're all circle jerking, me and my entire staff and Dr. Nye and everyone. So you know what I did? I put that legislation into AI, and I told it to tell me, does this mandate the mayor be in good standing? And AI said no. It said this has nothing to do with the mayor.
Damn, we should. All right, look, we got the perfect justice AI chatbot.
Yeah, well, I actually announced that we're going to be looking to replace positions through artificial intelligence. I mean, like, brother, it says, this is how it says here, quoting it. The mayor of Blaine County, per the Constitution, retains the ability to act with legislative authority over his jurisdiction,
Oh my
wait,
God,
sorry.
Chat. If you train a chat, all right, listen,
the
train
introduction,
a chatbot.
constitutional justification,
That'd be so funny.
etc., makes it very clear that this document is intended for people under the mayor's office. The problem is anyone that's reading this and thinks it has to do with the mayor, like, on God, does not understand English syntax. And that's the issue. And so if we're in a situation where people do not have enough of an education to understand English syntax, we're doomed.
Here's the thing that bothers me. All right, this is what I'm going to say. The thing that bothers me is that they directly chose to say, hey, just because it says this doesn't mean we need to do it. They chose to subvert any process. And that's the thing I have the problem with. How can you, sitting judge, sitting justice, whatever, choose to subvert the process that is that grants power to your office to preside over this type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
they could find me guilty in a court of law because they're the only ones that can really go over the shit right now, unless we get like a state governor to come in or something like that, which
That's
I would
what's
like to
happening
avoid
today.
in every situation. If I'm being honest, I chose to do that with my court case. Chose to do that with like everything. But the thing is, they're directly subverting and going around the processes just to get a result that they desire, I guess, or the result
That's
that they
the
deem
scarier
is right.
thing. How do you, as a judge, say, you know what? Let's just clap our hands and take his keys away. That to me is scarier. You know what I
The thing
mean?
is that power
And
isn't
tell me if I'm
codified.
wrong.
That power isn't
Tell me if-
codified. I'll tell you.
The verdict would probably be guilty if you went to impeachment. It's not about whether or not you get impeached ultimately. It's that they skipped everything.
Yeah, it's the only
And
thing
it
that
was all
bothers me is
done
the process.
behind closed doors.
That's all. That's the only thing that bothers me is that there should have been a process here. There was no process here. It was just done in back
Oh
alley
my God.
conversations. You know, it's bullshit.
It gets worse.
It always gets worse.
You still have Blaine County Mayor as your tag.
Hey, well, look at that. I guess I'm still the
I
mayor.
asked them why Raddick is not the sheriff and Bones does, and they said Bones has the tag. And I said, how are tags the official way? And they were dying on that hill. But you see, this is a problem when you make up shit as you're going. Like, I don't understand. What the fuck, bro? This is going to be okay. The meeting today is going to be good. I think I'm just going to make sure that we have a game plan going in. I'll probably be back in about like 3 hours to start to like line all of this up because
Can I be honest with what
I
this
don't know.
looks like? And I'm just going to say it.
yeah.
This is a hit job by a group of people in powerful positions with an agenda. That's all this is. And it's wrong.
Yeah.
And it's not right. And I wouldn't even do this to somebody even when I did have the power. I mean, even when I did have the power to remove a sheriff, I waited patiently trying to get them to, like, you know, come to me with, like, why I should be paying them more money. All right, I mean, I barely talked to them. All right, I went to 6 meetings in the last 6 weeks. Not even. You know, I patiently sat by and I waited for, you know, like a simple proposal. Like, okay, so why do you need more money? Justify these car parts purchases to me. How much are they? All right, how many criminals are you catching? Is this the reason why you're not catching criminals? Because you don't have these things. All right, I would have gave them those things. All right,
Yeah.
but they never tried to do
BCS
anything other than say, Cassidy was screaming at me about how I'm, you know, how I got to talk to Daddy Nino, and I'm just like, Nino's the only person that works with me. You could work with me too.
That's a sad thing about it all is we've been trying to work with these parties and I don't know what
A lot of people.
there's a
burnt
lot
out.
that's wrong with this
starting to get there with
and
this, too.
I
This
think
has
a
been
lot of it
the
comes
most
down
ridiculous
with
thing I've ever
ineptitude,
dealt
lack
with
of
in my life.
education, and understanding what communication actually looks like. So a lot of this gaslighting is coming from a position of you know, what happens when you sit in a fucking circle in a building all fucking day? You know what I mean? None of this is reasonable. This is not how normal human beings interact.
Well, this is just how people, they have an agenda. It's clear, right? The agenda is that these people, they, you know, communicate. All right, that's obvious. These people communicate. These people are like-minded individuals that have a ideology that lines up, and the things that they want trump everything else that everybody else wants, even when the process is in place. Once again, here they go. They did the same thing with my court case where they subverted the process because they wanted to just get straight to the result. Didn't work. They're subverting the process again just to get straight to the result, and that's going to be the key thing that keeps me in office instead of getting me out. When they could have easily just filed the appropriate thing, and I probably would have been out of here in a couple days. You know,
that's exactly it. Is why did it? I still don't even have my FOIAs. Your legislation's been sitting for a month, but these guys, like, find a hole and they remove your keys in 2 hours. You make the announcement, and within 2 hours, it goes from their office to DOJ emails to you losing mayorship. And this is the thing, and I'm only going to talk to you about this because, like, I don't want my own cabinet to have to deal with this headache. We do not have acts. There is no the entire discussion happened in government emails that we cannot scrutinize. So that opens up so much fucking unfortunate, hard to talk about weird shit because we cannot even know who said what, who decided on what, or if everyone is conflicted or not. Like, that's what makes this entire thing even more fucked. And why, when I brought up, I asked explicitly, who did this? There's no answer. Who was involved? There is no answer, which means you can't, like, what the fuck are you supposed to do? And even the fact that I'm having to say those statements makes me want to fucking throw up in my mouth because that's the response I got from the justice.
Brother, it's why I don't want to. It's why I would rather just be doing something else right now, if I'm being honest with you. But here's the thing that keeps me going: is we have tons of people.
Trust me when I say I'm going to be making those.
We have tons of people who have been investing hundreds of hours of their time. And you want to know something? It seems like everybody in the entire city supports me and believes this to be wrong and an injustice. Not one person has come up to me and been like, "This sounds like it was the correct thing. Get fucked." All right. Even people who don't like me are like, yeah, man, this is pretty fucked up. It doesn't make any sense. This isn't how a process should be to remove anybody from office, let alone a sitting mayor. All right.
Well, it was made clear to us that wasn't it that didn't like the governor need to make the final approval anyways to begin with?
I'm not 100% sure.
It was told to me that 6 weeks back, 2 months ago. So there's a lot of haphazardness. I just like it's just look. This is fucked. I think it's gonna get really spicy with the governor, and you know, I think when all the facts hit the table, it's gonna be pretty obvious who's in the right and who's in the wrong.
Yeah, and here's the thing: I'm not even arguing that I shouldn't be thrown out of office as per the legislation. Like, it definitely is up for conversation, right?
Agreed.
The fact is that the whole process just got avoided. That's the thing I have the issue with. That's the thing I'm not happy about.
And now they're all conflicted.
Yeah, and I'm sitting in the sidelines on something where I'm the direct, I'm just going to say it, like, I'm the direct recipient of all of this. And here's the thing that I'm looking for now, all right? Honestly, maybe this could happen to anybody. Maybe it just happens to me. I mean, I don't know what I did to this collective group of people.
Stop. This isn't only happening to you, motherfucker. I dealt with this for 3 fucking months. All right.
To be fair, you did, yeah.
I will kill you myself the next time you say that.
Honestly, I wouldn't doubt you for that. But the issue is, right, that what happens when you come at these people with the same energy that they're coming at me with, right? They're trying to get me out any means necessary. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Like Nakota out of the woodwork with whatever bullshit he thinks up, right? Whatever slop he puts together because he's a dumb fuck. All right? And here's the thing that I just don't understand. What happens when we actually, all this stuff that they're doing comes to light, all right, and nothing's done against them, right? They're doing stuff to me with nothing. What happens when I start doing stuff to them with something? Am I just the default, supreme, like, asshole? Because the way I look at it is I have been very coy, all right? I haven't been having people shot. I haven't been fucking going around organizing, rallies to go against these people. I've barely been talking to any of them. All right?
Yes, exactly.
I exist so deep-seated in these people's minds that I'm all they think about 24/7, and they would destroy themselves, and they have dedicated themselves to just fucking me. But it's, like, unfortunate because anyone with half a brain could get me out of office. You follow me around for 20 minutes with a video camera, I'm going to pull out of class 2. All right, it's just that honest, right? Like, It is not that hard to get me. I am not discreet. I go around and I do whatever the fuck I want. All right, I don't care because I don't give a shit if I'm in office. I don't give a shit if I'm out of office. I just want the proper respect in order for things to be handled, because I would do it. It could be the person that I hate the most. All right, it could be the person that I hate the most and I wouldn't do the stuff that's being done to me to them. All right, I wouldn't do that because, one, who am I to be a judge of someone's power? Who am I to be a judge of someone in the responsibility of their role without a proper setting? I'm not. In any position of power you put me in, even if I was the sitting fucking governor, I wouldn't do something like this. All right? But the thing is, these people are doing this type of shit to me. Meanwhile, I don't talk to them. Meanwhile, I fucking give them every chance under the goddamn sun to engage me and to present their argument to me. They neglect to. All right? I don't.
Hey, could I get 5 meals, please?
Yeah, get those meals. Get those meals. And it's just.
Keep talking.
It's driving me. I honestly feel like I'm starting to go fucking insane. Like, because I don't feel like I'm asking for a lot.
Yeah.
In fact,
you're not.
I'm just asking for a conversation. I'm just asking to be involved in the process. And this is the second time in a row. And this has put me. I'm the only sitting mayor in the history to not be able to do their job for more than a fucking day. I'm the only sitting mayor in history that is laser locked by both the judiciary and the police department in every facet of my being. I can't breathe. I can't do anything. Everything I do is wrong. Everything I do is not the right way. I'm not. Meanwhile, even the thing I did to putting Raddick as sheriff set them up for just a few days to contest the goddamn shit in a court of fucking law.
Exactly.
Right? And they chose to not even do that.
They did some ratty shit, bro. Like there's no, like, it's not even that it's ratty. It's things that I'm not gonna say, right? And that's how I feel. And I'm gonna be pretty honest in that meeting today, because right now there is nothing tangible that was used to remove you, and there was no, that the manner by which things happened, nobody knows what to do with it because it doesn't exist.
Can I be honest with you? There's one thing we got to remember to bring up. All right? I have the constitutional authority as the sitting mayor at the time to repeal and change legislation as I see fit. All right? The justices and stuff going through that process is a luxury that is granted to them. All right? But when they choose not to do it, my word, this thing's been up for a fucking month. This legislation that they had their gotcha moment on, their big fucking revelation of how, I got done in by this like legislation that's like dog shit, is out the fucking window because I have already repealed this publicly. I'm just not the one. I just haven't changed it. All right, when I definitely could, but this is like factual information and evidence that when they derelict their duties, that the Constitution reflects that I have the power to repeal and change legislation as I
here's
please
the beauty
in my county.
It was stated to me by Angel that once it goes through the 3-day, it's done. Is there anything in the existing process? Hold on. How does the repeal work?
It's in both documents. It's in the Blaine County Mayor's office and it's posted in City Hall.
I believe you. But look up legislative proposal and approval process.
I got to go pick up my MDT.
Listen, if we want to play these games, and I asked this, are you still the mayor? Prove to me you're not the mayor anymore. You have tags. There was a state announcement. Who said you're not the mayor? If it's not in legislation how the mayor gets removed. So, I mean, you could just update it right now. I don't know. I fucking hate this because, like, this is what I'm talking about. You could literally do what they did and say it's not in legislation, right?
I don't want to do what they did, though, because what they did is fundamentally wrong.
I agree.
Like, even me, a cold-blooded murderer, psychopath that fought for a foreign nation's army in a fucking uprising against the U.S. government, has more decorum than the people that are in charge of everything right now.
I respect that, because there is a part of me that, as I'm even saying this out loud, I'm just like throwing up in my own mouth. Like, it's just like there needs to be a semblance of like
I just get tired of this, though, man. I'm gonna be honest. I'm tired of us having to do this every fucking day. I'm tired of us having to, like.
Why couldn't we have done something, Ali? What have we done? Why?
Look, man. I'm.
Oh, you want to hear something?
What's that?
Actually, give me a sec. I want you to tell me what you think about this. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
Two seconds, almost done.
Yeah, take your time. I'm in no rush. Yo, hey, it's TJ. Thanks for the 9 months. Yeah, but going to the status quo doesn't subvert RP process, though. Okay. All right, and I just get tired of it, because it's like, bro, I'm tired of fucking having to, like, fucking whinge about this shit. You know, because part of it's RP for me, but a lot of it is just pissing me the fuck off now. Like, nothing you're hearing right now isn't roleplay. But fuck, I could really pop off if I wanted to.
So you've heard about how they've been saying I've been Changang for some time now, right?
Yeah.
Let me know what you think of this.
Ninja Phil, thanks for 29 months. D-Wit, thanks for 21 months as well. Back to back. Resubs, thank you.
You hear this?
Yeah, I hear it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh. Woo. Tell that bitch that I'm cabinet gang. Tell that bitch that I'm cabinet gang. Tell that bitch that I'm cabinet gang.
Yeah.
Tell that bitch that I'm cabinet gang. Know what it is when you see me. Chain on my neck says CG. You know what it is when you see me. Chain on my neck says CG. Nino's clean, no case ever sticked. Mayor of the city, dodging their tricks. Michael writes laws, keeps the gang tight. Owed it your life, make sure it's alright. Abilene steps in, briefcase on fire. Courtroom killer, raising the bar higher. Maeve keeps us sane when the pressure's high. Therapist queen, mind sharp as a knife. Junior got businesses running on top. Flip.
Yeah, so I'm getting this produced right now. I figure I'm gonna go full on. I'm thinking about getting like cabinet gang flags as well.
Honestly, wouldn't be a bad idea. You should get those changed too. Maybe we get some CG chains on, huh?
Oh my God, yes. Oh fuck me.
It's
To your
just this...
point,
No, go ahead.
like I said, 13 writs and impeachments. If we break down each individual, it actually turns in about 19 to 20 documents. Everyone from the individuals that originally pressed the charges to you down to each and every justice. And honestly, like, only reason that I kept telling my staff not to go down this route is because I recognize how fucking, for lack of a better phrasing, not asinine, but how there's a word I want to use, but I try not to use it.
Okay, you don't have
how
to.
AIDS it would be for everybody. If I just
drowning
like
in
spam,
paperwork.
Yeah, just spam that shit. But it's kind of like, at this point, it's kind of like, well, I mean, well, here's the thing. So I forgot to tell you this. I told them,
Glooper,
I told
thanks for
Hart
53
this,
months.
that you're leaving us with no choice other than actually going and pressing so much litigation against you guys. And that's not going to be good for anybody. And I'm not trying to like do something that's genuinely going to make people not want to deal with this ever.
Well,
right?
It's hard to go after people that don't care about their own position. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, to them, it's an inconvenience is having to deal with us.
I agree with those that are not showing up, but it would target individuals that do, right? And as much as I loathe some of my opponents, I am not trying to get them to have to deal with court cases every fucking day, right? I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I don't think that's right
But
either.
the response I got was, if that's what you need to do, do it. Everyone is adults. And I'm just like, in that moment, I'm like, this person should not be a justice. You know what I mean? Because it's just not, and all this stuff is going to be brought up. It really is.
Oh God, I better clear my schedule for about 2 to 4 fucking hours tonight, I guess.
It's going to be a very honest conversation today, quite frankly. Like I said, I mean, I'll probably say some things, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I want the shit to be better so that when we're not there any longer, it fucking works.
Yeah, I mean,
Look,
clearly, what it is, it's all right. So, what it just is that you have two people such as you and myself, are influential personalities that are sitting in these positions of power, right? We have an idea of how we want to do things, right? We have an idea of like things we want to change and what we want to try, right? And what we're up against is a status quo that doesn't even want to do the basics of their fucking job, that doesn't even want to fucking come around to even have a conversation with us about anything, that can't even show us enough human decency or respect to hear out our opinions, to have conversations with us, to even read our legislation and put it in the phase of, you know, going against it. Like, how do you go against an adversary that is full gung-ho against you, checked out, and won't hear your side? It's a hit job. That's all it is. It's whatever you got to do to paint someone to be the problem for the causations of the things that you have done and that you are doing. I have not done anything. I am not doing anything. I have not been able to do anything. Alls I've done, give the DOC. Alls I've done is I've given the DOC $2 million. All right, and I was tired of their shit, so I fucking said, hey, I'm appointing a new sheriff. I don't have to file this legislation. The UPD doesn't exist. Go ahead and appeal it, I guess. You know what I mean? All right? And instead, what I get met with is everything I do is wrong. I'm the biggest goddamn tyrannical dictator. You know, like, I'm target number one in the aspect in the eyes of everybody that wants to uphold status but doesn't want to put in the work of the position that they're in. And it's just this here's the thing. I could have handled this for a week. I could have handled this for 2 weeks. All right? But instead, the process has been dragged out so long now that I'm sick and tired of dealing with it. I'm sick and tired
of
waking up that I have to deal with some type of new bullshit. They could have gotten me out twice now if they just followed the process, if they just did the positions of the office that they're in, if they just tried to do things in a cordial manner. And instead, what it is they're bludgeoning me non-fucking stop. And I'm not trying to sit here and cry and say, hey, I'm a victim. All right? I don't believe I am. But what I do just believe is I'm sick and tired of the bullshit. And the fact that I can't even get a chance to do the job that I put in the effort and the time to run for. That the people around me put in the effort and time to run for. The people around me have put in the effort and time to get legislation done. That the people, like that list could keep going on. But instead, what I'm met with is a 2-hour conversation with back alley goddamn emails that fucking aren't right, all right, fundamentally flawed, and I get, I wake up every day to deal with my problems every day, all right, but what people are doing instead is they're electing to choose a process that subverts anything, demeaning me, making it so that it's all about big dicking me. That's all it's about. It's not about beating me the right way. It's about fucking slamming their goddamn hands on the table and say, you can't even play the fucking game. And that's why I'm at this point.
You're getting fucking night raided. You're getting fucking
night fired.
We had shadow edits, right? We were dealing with night fired. Yeah, it's actually. It's fucking like why? How do we even like? How do you like? Woo!
You don't.
I don't even know how to explain how mad I am at it. Because I don't know what words to use.
It's my own fault, right? That's how I feel. It's my own fault because I kind of was complacent and I kind of just allowed things to kind of go on. All right. But The difference is now is that I understand that processes and things won't change unless drastic actions are taken. And that's just the bare bottom line here is that I have tried to be cordial. I have tried to work with people. I have been available for conversation for hundreds and hundreds of hours. All right? I literally
We were here every day for 3 weeks waiting and patiently for judges to show up and justices to show up. And when they finally showed up, they still couldn't even in a singular day take care of the simplest series of requests. What the fuck are you supposed to do with that?
You're not supposed to do anything with it because at the end of the day, it's about getting what they want or what they deem necessary. It's about subverting the process. It's about acknowledging that a process doesn't exist so that we can do whatever the fuck we want. You know, and that is something that I'm against because I didn't even do I've never done anything like that. And I'm a fucking madman. All right, in every situation, I've always extended the hand. Like, even when it came to firing my deputies, even when it came to opposing a sitting mayor, like, I did things the right way.
I remember. I told you go replace the sheriff right now. And you said, no, I'm going to talk to him and give him an option. And they literally said,
I can't talk to someone who
talking?
doesn't
Nah.
respond to my text messages, and I can't talk to somebody that doesn't make themselves available for me. And I'm not going to just come around randomly to, you know, like, it's not my job at that point. It's yours. All right, like, you know when I'm available, and if you have a conversation with me, I can be available whenever you need. All right, I didn't get none of that. No one ever, and I told several deputies and command members what exactly needed to be done, and apparently that information either fell on deaf ears or it was never passed along. I've told Sergeant Bean this like 4 fucking times. I've told Sergeant McNulty this a couple times. I've told a lot of people, you know, like, just what I'm looking for.